What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and a long overdue new episode of Go Figure. Thank you very much for checking back in. I did say I was going to be back round about this time of the year with a few exciting additions that I had waiting to arrive. I have had to put the brakes on my collecting just a little bit in recent months, hence why I've not had much to report on. But I have got a few quite exciting things to unbox to show you, which are going into the collection right here. As I record this is, we have just ticked over into December. Christmas is very, very much on the way, and I can't wait. I hope everyone watching this has got your own list of things that you're hoping Santa's going to bring you. Great additions to your own collections. But before I begin, let's roll those credits. So guys, before I get over to the table for the first time in a long time to unbox what I've got, I just wanted to show you a couple of things that I've added in. One particular cool thing that I've added into the collection, which I was waiting on last time I did an episode. It was something, it is my first time really pre-ordering a new figure. There was one that I really couldn't wait to get my hands on. I did mention it, I think, in the last episode. But let me swing you around. First of all, just give you a shot of what the collection is looking like. There are a few bits under my desk at the moment that I've taken back off because I am looking to move them on. I've actually sort of got an idea of streamlining the collection a little bit more into particular things that I want to have in here, rather than, I think I went on a little bit of a rampage of I'm just getting caught up in a bit of everything. So obviously here we've got the Galoobs. That is the reason why I started the collecting, really. Got the Hasbros here. Obviously, if you've missed any, if this is your first time of watching this Go Figure feature, go back and see all the other episodes. So I do actually showcase when I actually acquired a lot of these. I can't remember, top of my head, if I did one of the last Hasbro collection the Hasbro editions. I'd have to go back and check, but obviously this guy here was one of my key kind of finds, finally, one that eluded me back in the day, Giant Gonzalez. The Hasbros aren't ones that I'm going to achieve completion on. I'm not as attached to them. It's just, you know, they are cool. They made up the crux of my collection as a kid, but they're not the ones that I really have such a passion for collecting again. But it is quite cool to see some of them here. So up over here, just a refresh, we've got our 92, 93. It's quite small at the moment, but it wasn't one I was intended to do, and then I managed to acquire. Obviously, you got a couple of people like, you know, X Park and Scott Hall that don't belong in there, but the 123 Kid, British Bulldog, Mr. Perfect, Papa Shango, Bully Gun. The one I wanted to show you, this guy here, Fatu. In proudly front and center in my class of 95, 96. This is one of my favorite collections I've got going on. As I've said before, such an iconic era for me, so many good memories. And when I saw that they were releasing a Fatu in the Make the Difference era, which is 1995 for me, especially in this attire, this is what he was wearing when he, I think, debuted, or, you know, re-debuted in his solo form. And when I saw that Mattel and WWE were releasing this as part of the Elite Monday Night Wars series, I had to have one. So he was one of the first ones that I pre-ordered from new. So I'm so pleased when he turned up. He is looking awesome. The colours just pop on that. I absolutely love this. When he later on went to just sort of one colour, I think he has just like black tights by the end of 95. He wasn't in this really multicolored, bright look as much. I did kind of miss that, but yeah, it's looking awesome. I have got a couple of other figures on pre-order. One of them I am hoping is going to arrive before I wrap this video for release. I am going to leave it open as long as I can to see if he turns up, but they have started to ship out, so hopefully I will get those. And over here, pieces you've already seen. One of my pride and joys in my collection, my signed Sting, even though I'm not an AEW fan, anything signed by Sting. Papa Shango hiding at the back there, that is my my two-sided kind of almost like mini wrestling buddy. On the other side is Kamala. I have been on a little bit of a Papa Shango rebirth, whatever you want to call it, recently. I just remember he was one of my favourite characters from back then, from back in the day, and I am absolutely loving having. So we've got Papa Shango, one of the elites, I think. There, we've got the classic Hasbro there, and then, like I say, sneaky Papa over the top. There is a reason why I've mentioned the importance of Papa Shango, as you will see once we get into the rest of this episode. So there we go. It's certainly fun to have a few pieces to show off again. So I have been dying. One of these has been sat here for about nearly 2 weeks. I've been away, I've been unwell. There's been various reasons why I've just not got around to doing this until now. And in the meantime, a couple of other pieces have turned up. So I have kind of held off just so I can kind of do a bit more of a feature on this. But I cannot wait to finally open those up. So without further ado, let's get over to the table, see what we got. Okay, guys, I've got 3 boxes to crack open. And I've lost my trusty knife since I was last recording, so apologies. This is going to look a little unwieldy. This first one here was a vintage purchase. Now, this is one that I have had my eye on for a long time. Well, a long time. I say, at least most of this year since I saw that it was actually out. And saw, I didn't really have a place for him to begin with, but then when I started my 95-96 collection, this was someone I needed to be in there. I just couldn't find him at a decent price. And I done a little bit of shifting around my collection. Like I said, I've moved some pieces on, I've raised some funds, and I was finally able to find one of these. Look at this. We're talking about the Goon. Now, wrestling legend in his own right, Wild Bill Irwin. During the time 95-96, WWF had a tendency to bring in, they needed a load of new characters, so they turned to these guys who were already big names on sort of the more kind of independent circuit. You talk about NWA, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. You had the likes of Tony Anthony come in as TL Hopper, Tracy Smothers as Freddie Joe Floyd, and this guy came around about the same time. I think it was 96, or more than 95, but Wild Bill Irwin came in as the Goon. A hockey player, character, who I remember I likened him a little bit to like the Berserker in the way that he used to basically knock opponents out of the ring and win by count out. It was a bit of an odd one. Really kind of just relegated to WWF Superstars we had on Saturday evenings here in the UK during that time. Didn't make it to any really big profile matches. I think unless I remember it incorrectly, he didn't make it to the free-for-all Survivor Series match that year, which he would have been perfect for because it was just made up of these kind of guys. You had the Sultan, you had Salvatore Sincere, you had Billy Gunn, Bob Holly, and that kind of. I can't remember. I don't think the Goon was part of that. He really should have been. But there we go. First time in line. I think it's the only figure of the Goon, but he is going to slot into my 95-96 collection very, very nicely. I mean, he is going to be like the others. He is going to be unboxed, which is good because there's a little bit of damage on the box there, but I'm not too worried because I unboxed these guys anyway. He comes in there with his hockey jersey, his hockey stick. The boots were immense. and on the back, just a little bit about him. So yeah, really pleased with that. Like I say, worth holding out for, because these, I haven't seen him for less than about 35 to 50 pound, and I was able to get this one for a little bit less than that. But like I say, I was able to move on my Great Muta that I had in my collection. Found a buyer for him, and he kind of was responsible for giving me the money to buy him, to buy the Goon. So really pleased with that. Next one here. This was one I didn't really have. I had a passing interest in this figure. Shout out to Rope Collectibles, by the way, the guys who I bought this one from. I didn't have my eye on this figure necessarily. It was a little bit of an impulse buy just recently when Martin in the Western Figures UK group shared Rope Collectibles had a cracking deal. This was just before Black Friday. I made a cracking deal on this figure down to £15. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to take a punt on this one, because he will fit in two of the collections I've got going on at the moment. And to be honest, I just love seeing more of these independent toy makers. So this one here, Grapplers and Gimmicks, Macho Man, Randy Savage. So Hasbro type line, one of the many companies out there that look like they're doing these Hasbro ones. This is really cool though. I mean, the card just brings back instant memories of seeing the Hasbros on the shelves when I was a kid. Look on the back, they've done a cracking job on the artwork. So you see again the articulation. Also the ones in the line, Downtown Bruno, who is obviously Harvey Whippleman, Macho Man Randy Savage, Coco Beware, and of course the British Bulldog 97. Massive shout out to Grapplers and Gimmicks, Hassel Toy and Collectibles. Yeah, this is an iconic image as well. So again, for my 92-93 line, but also my Hasbro line, we're looking at WrestleMania 8 attire and Randy Savage when he beat Ric Flair for the title. And to be honest, when you compare this to the other Hasbro of that era, the actual official Hasbro, with the one with the cowboy hat and the tassels and everything, so you just couldn't use him. He's one of my, he looks great on display, but one of my least favourite figures that I had as a kid. This, if we had this back in the day, it would have been amazing. Love the play pose on it. I've got to decide whether I'm keeping this on card, because I do love the card and the artwork. It may be one that I need to keep alongside my superstars, my Motu superstars Tatanka. It's a bit of a nod to the 92-93 and the Hasbro collections there, but keeping them possibly in the packaging. Very cool. Really pleased with that. £15 as well. You can't go wrong with that. Now, move these two out of the way. The main event, as it were. This bad boy here. So this is thanks to one of the guys in the Wrestling Figures UK group. Again, I had held off collecting for a good few months now, because I'd hit it quite hard for the months I was doing it while I was pursuing the Galoob collection. You can see how much stuff that I acquired in all the other episodes of Go Figure, and I had to hold back. And then this guy had a listing of some awesome pieces in there, and there were two sets in there which I have wanted since I've seen that they're out there, not been able to afford them, and I decided, you know what, they were at a great price, I'm just going to go for it. And you can probably see, if you can see that, you can't see the top of the box, that's ideal. I can keep you in suspense a bit longer. Two sets in here. They're like the Colosseum sets. I don't think they are they're both Colosseum sets, but that kind of thing. So the first one, this one here, the Greatest Grudges 92 Ultimate Edition set of Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango. So another epic piece of Papa Shango for my collection, and the Warrior as well. Now this feud that they had was one of the sort of talking points, still is, of 1992, with Papa Shango putting curse on the Warrior. We all remember the instances where the Warrior ended up with black ooze pouring from his forehead, and then when he made him, cursed him after a match and made him throw up over everyone in the back. You know, as an 8-year-old kid at the time, that was shocking. And that was one of the reasons why Papa Shango was one of those feared characters for me. And this set looks amazing. I've been trying to think in my head, how the hell am I going to display this? Because I absolutely love the outer box, because it just reminds you of one of the Coliseum video VHS's covers. I think I am going to have to take both of these out the box, but I am going to keep the packaging as part of the display behind. I've got something in mind, but just check this out. Look at that. 3 different heads on in there, and you got 2 of them where he looks like he's in a trance. You've got the coat, the hat, which I'm missing from the other edition that I've got, the skull kind of necklace thing he used to carry around, alternate hands. Absolutely amazing. This, I think, I mean, just look at what you can do with them. That's going to look absolutely awesome. It's probably already going to be one of my favourite parts of my collection once I get him out. I am going to remove him, put him in pose, I think, with the Warrior. This one deserves some decent displaying. And this one here, the Warrior, I was not a fan of the 92 Warrior at all. He really did lack something for me. But again, this whole storyline was just epic. So you've got alternate heads there. The jacket, which I absolutely love, because this is the jacket he was wearing during that infamous interview with Mean Gene, when the black ooze starts pouring from his head after Papa Shango appears. Cannot wait to get this displayed properly. Absolutely amazing. There we go, I'll pop them back in. Like I say, that outer box, the artwork on these boxes is fantastic. That is gonna be great in the background when I finally find a place. I need to free up a whole new cubby hole, I think, again for this one. And then we come to the next one, which similar kind of thing. I couldn't leave this one alone for obvious reasons. The Steiner brothers. I have said time and time again, I am a massive Steiner Brothers fan. They're my favourite tag team of all time, particularly their run late 80s, early 90s, including, specifically here, the 1993 run in the WWF. This is going to be another one. Again, a great addition to my 92-93, but it's probably one where I am going to use that box in the background. So we've got here first the dog-faced gremlin, Rick Steiner. Oh, look at this. This attire here, I always remember this. This is one of the most iconic kind of looks for Rick Steiner that I remember from back then, with the numbers, the pink singlet with all the numbers over it. But, you know, he's got his headgear on there. We've also got alternate heads here where I think his headgear come open as well, like it sometimes did during his matches. The Letterman, the University of Michigan Letterman jacket, which is iconic for them for that era. You know, I've got the Steiners in Galoob form, which were 2 of my favourite Galoobs, and now I've got these as well. Absolutely awesome. And then Scott, who was always my favourite out of the 2. I think I'll have to go back and see what Rick Steiner was wearing at Royal Rumble 93, but I'm pretty sure this here was the attire that Scott Steiner was wearing Royal Rumble 93 against the Beverly Brothers, and that was the first match, obviously, that they had on pay-per-view for the WWF, and I remember watching that. I absolutely love that match. So it's going to be, again, great to capture that era. And again, you got the alternate heads, you got the Letterman jacket there. Can't wait to get those 2 on display. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, not a bad little haul at all there for those 2. Cannot wait to get those Ultimates. up in their display. So guys, I said I was going to leave this video open until a particular package arrived, and it's been nearly a week. I've been eagerly kind of just wanting to finish this video, and I was hoping this would arrive. And today, it arrived. Oh, sorry, last night it arrived. So I've been sat on this for another day, just trying to find time to do this video. I didn't want to open this one without being able to show you guys. So this is something that I've been looking forward to since it was announced. I've had it on pre-order. Again, it's only the second figure that I've pre-ordered, and it's been on pre-order now, I think, since March. So, you know, we're talking 8-9 months, and cannot wait to show you. So let's get over there, see what we got. So guys, only got the box, got my trusty knife back, managed to find it. So let's get in this thing, find out what we got. And this is one of those where I wasn't too sure when it was coming. I've obviously been keeping up to date with all the latest, you know, shipping updates from the guys that are selling this one. And those of you who may have been waiting for this one as well know which one I'm about to take out the box. And this really does help to bring this whole series kind of full circle, because we're talking about adding to the collection that started this whole thing off. And it is, of course, the brand new Top Rope Collectibles Galoob-style Diamond Studd. So this is the long-awaited Diamond Studd. This was one of the prototypes, along with PN News, which didn't make the market, didn't make production back in the day on the official Galoob line. But Top Rope Collectibles have done it again. So excited about this one. I mean, look at this. I've gone for, I think it's variant A. So sort of the main variant with the blue trunks, the yellow diamond. This is the diamond stud this is the look of the diamond stud that I remember seeing in the magazines, and I think in the fact file book I used to have. But what I love, let's just talk about the packaging very, very quickly. I love the look, the whole kind of old school Galoob type look with the artwork in the back. It's fantastic. 298 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. We all remember that kind of claim that Diamond Studd had back then. On the back, look at the guys that are in the works with Top Rope Collectibles at the moment. So PN News, we've already got. Really excited about this. Marcus Alexander Bagwell, Joey Janela. Not so familiar with Joey Janela. Paul Orndorff, Johnny B. Bad, Two Cold Scorpio. So I think they are doing a 2-pack release for Two Cold Scorpio and Marcus Alexander Bagwell, which one of my favourite teams back in '93. Diamond Studd, of course, Norman the Lunatic, Danhausen, Banhammer, and 2 spots left to fill. So we got the bio card for Diamond Studd. Of course, we all know Diamond Studd, what he would go on to become. This is Scott Hall, before he was himself as member of the NWO and the Outsiders, Razor Ramon. Let's do it. I mean, what I love about this packaging as well is you don't have to tear into it to get it open. You can keep the packaging and then decide to put it back in later on if you wanted to. Slides out. Wow. What an awesome piece. So you've got Studd on the back. The only thing I'd say on this is I thought it had Studd, obviously the name, in Diamond Studd's name, it was 2 Ds on the end. I might be being a bit anal about that. I can't remember if it was written like that on his trunks or whether it's 2 Ds. But anyway, it's in the same handwriting style. It's just awesome. Feels great. I mean, just like all the Galoobs. Such a cool line. I love the fact that TRC seem to be one of the only ones that are doing Galoobs. You know, everyone else, there's loads of them out there doing the like the Jack's BCA and the Hasbro type ones and that, but the Galoobs don't seem to be being done by anyone else. So shout out to Jordan Davison and everyone involved at Top Rope Collectibles. This is such an awesome figure. So the look, classic look with the shades on. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this was a bit like PN News. This is the mold. This is the look that we were supposed to have. And they've also done 2 other variants. I know one of them's got black trunks. I can't remember the other one. But this, like I say, was the classic Diamond Studd look that I had that was in the magazines back when I used to watch and collect WCW. Awesome. And I'm so glad that, you know, I was able to keep this video going, because this really is, tops off, a diamond studded pre-Christmas haul that I've managed to bag myself before the big day. So yeah, 10 out of 10, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Awesome stuff. So there he is, guys. Just focus in. Diamond Studd, front and center, next to PN News. Going to the front, taking his rightful place at the front of the awesome WCW Galoob display. While I'm here, just to update you, I had a bit of a shift around up here. Obviously, earlier on in the video, you saw me unveil the greatest grudges set. So I've done a bit of a jig around of the display because I had to get these guys out. I don't usually go in for like the whole posing thing, but I may do because I had to do it with these figures. But look at that. Very, very cool. Set the lights up a little bit so you can see it. Papa Shango, Ultimate Warrior. So this is now my kind of new look 92, 93 arm. Once I've moved everything around, I'll show you the rest of what I've done with the rest of the collection. But I realised, you know, the 92, 93 lot isn't quite as plentiful as I thought. So got up the top here, my Tatanka Superstars figure, still boxed. Guest appearance by Callisto. I've got that really because it was very cheap. It was £1 off of Vinted. And me and my son managed to meet the man formerly known as Callisto Samurai del Sol at a wrestling show up in Cardiff over the summer. So in here, we got obviously the British Bulldog. I absolutely love that figure. SummerSlam 92. Mr. Perfect, I thought, you know, put him in any era really around those 90s. So I've whacked him in there. We've obviously got the class of 95, 96, probably my favourite arm of my WWE collection. And then we come down here, and then we've got the Steiner Brothers. Absolutely awesome. Love that set. And then we've got two Sean Waltman, 1-2-3 kids. We've got the Lightning Kid. We've got the 1-2-3 kid from Classic 93. We've got Papa Shango hiding in the back again, and Bully Gun. And at the top, my pride and joy, my boxed blue blazer, and my Papa Shango keeping an eye on everyone. Right, annoyingly enough, I was just recording the last video, and just on the last little bit, my little trusty mic decided to run out of batteries. So apologies, the sound may be a little off on this last bit, but I'm still going to do it anyway. So this arrived last night. Something that I probably wouldn't have ordinarily spent this amount of money on one item that isn't a figure. I mean, even if it is a figure, I probably would have thought twice. But if I cover this bit up, just show you, this is probably going to come out all backwards. I do apologise, but if you can read backwards, come direct from Georgia Smith, who obviously is the daughter of the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. In this here package is an item which has come directly from her. It's something that was in her dad's own collection, which she posted out about a few weeks ago to say that her mum Diana had found them at home in Calgary, I believe, and it's something that she wanted to share with the fans, so put them up for sale. Very, very limited supply. I could not turn down the opportunity to send her a message, see if there's any left in my size. Thankfully there was, and here it is. So without further ado, let's get into it so I can show you. Wrestling t-shirts have kind of become, I've got a bit of a t-shirt obsession, as my wife will tell you, and my wrestling part of my t-shirt collection in my wardrobe is growing, and this is one that I'm now in two minds about whether I keep this as a keepsake or do I wear it because of how much I've paid for it. Check this out. Stand back a little bit. Look at this. The British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. And what's special about these is these are t-shirts that Davey Boy had made himself. He commissioned to have made. Again, limited supply back in the year 2000, which he was going to be selling through his website. And I believe it's Stampede wrestling shows as well, up in Calgary, if I've got that right. And they had a stash left. I think Georgia, when she posted that, she had about 30 of them left. I don't know how many were actually made, how many overall, but very, very limited supply left. And I could not, you know, again, yeah, what do you do with something like this? I could put it in a frame. My missus would probably think I'm really, really strange. Or I could wear it knowing it is such a limited edition. You know, do I dare wear something like this? It costs me that much money. We'll see. It would look awesome. I mean, what a talking point to wear to a show. I'm starting to go to some, you know, quite a few independent wrestling shows this year. When I've got a few more on the cards as well for next year. You know, if I was to wear this, a guaranteed talking point, I may well just do that. Georgia, thank you so much for making these available. You know, as far as what I've deemed a diamond studded pre-Christmas haul for myself, this right here just about taps it off. Thank you so much to everyone who has continued to support the channel, particularly these Go Figure videos. These were a real kind of impromptu sort of side project that I decided to delve into, and I've actually had so much fun with amassing this here collection this year, but also coming up with these videos to document my journey. So thank you to everyone who's discovered the channel through these videos or who knew of it already and supported these videos. I wish everyone who watches and supports me a very Merry Christmas, a very, very healthy 2026. I have got a few other bits which I know are on the way, so I will be back. There is a parcel right here. This will be part of a different video. Actually, I could open it right now, but there's a reason why I'm not. But there is going to be a special video kind of outside of this kind of thing that I'm thinking about putting together. So there may well come up. That may well come available before Christmas, but if it doesn't, have an awesome Christmas, and I will see you at some point in 2026. Scratch that figure itch. See you later. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Once Upon a Turnbuckle to keep updated about all future shows.